ABC is a fan favorite strategy. Not only because it has stood the test of time, it coming out before Master Rule 4 and only getting stronger in this new format, ABC is a deck that gets more powerful every single time we get more generic links. Chaos Impact has given the deck an insurmountable amount of support indirectly, making ABC a lot more powerful than before. Losing Brilliant Fusion and Ancient Fairy Dragon did completely suck, but I'm telling you, this new ABC could be competitive for the December 2019 format. I'm TheCaliEffect, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, then make sure you destroy that subscribe button. But more importantly, go hit that notification bell because, well, we just too strong. So without further ado, I present to you a competitive ABC deck profile for this format. Before we go deeper into this video, I just wanted to let you guys know we are not doing that archaic top-down view of a deck profile anymore. But for the people that are on a go, or the people that just want to see what the TheCaliEffect would be specifically playing if you were to play ABC, then I'll go ahead and leave the link down below in the description. Of course, in this video, I'm going to be explaining everything you need to know about ABC for this format, so hopefully you can succeed. A little bit of a backstory from ABC. It is a strategy that was introduced in 2016. It is a 3-year-old archetype that predates, that is right ladies and gentlemen, it's actually going on its 4th year, but it predates the Master Rule 4 format. ABC's strengths for you normal people consist of, as long as you place these monsters to your side of the field and can link them off in the new Master Rule 4 format, you will gain advantage. A Assault Core allows you to recur Union monsters, B Buster Drake allows you to search Union monsters, and C Crush Wyvern allows you to special summon said Union monsters. Because of this, getting your ABC monsters to your side of the field is at a premium, and unfortunately all of our old ways were banned. We'll talk about that in the weaknesses or the weaks for our 2 strong members. The best thing about ABC is summoning that ABC Dragon Buster. That is the home run card because it rewards you for basically playing the archetype, going into whatever link monsters that you need, and then you get a free monster that plays really well with Nibiru. We'll talk about that a little bit later. That can disrupt your opponent and special summon all 3 parts back to your side of the field, giving you infinite advantage. This deck is amazing, and it's centered around one of the best field spells in the game in Union Hanger, being able to search an ABC part and then equip ABC parts to your monsters to your side of the field. And a little bit of a hint for the people that aren't ABC adept is that your ABC monsters actually make the monsters that are equipped to immune to certain card effects. For example, a Assault Core equipped to a monster makes it unaffected by monster effects. You never would have thought that would have been a good thing, would you? B Buster Drake and C Crush Wyvern make the monsters respectively unaffected by spells or traps. It's not really hard, it's color coded, but I expect Glue Eaters to still mess that up. Wait, I can say fuck that up, not PG anymore. I like to say ABC is an acronym for Awesome, Bossum, Sawsome. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Sawsome starts with a C.
Starts with an S.
Nope, C.
S.
The weaks of this strategy is that it's been hit indirectly by the Forbidden List over and over again. The first hit being Firewall Dragon, though while it is a necessary evil, it did hurt ABCs in its ability to loot monsters to their side of the field infinitely. Which, I mean, when you think about it, it kind of stops FTKs, and that's what ABC is really good at when you allow it to do it. The next card that was hit, and again, I'm not speaking in sequential order, I'm just speaking on what I can think of off the top of my mind, was Nightmare Goblin being hit. Now, this was a critical hit because it did give us an extra normal summon in the form of a generic Link monster, which allowed us to pop off with so many of our plays. Sky Striker Hornet Drones being hit was just another hit. I mean, that one's necessary too because Sky Strikers were in the, yeah, it's just, we don't got to talk about that. An Ancient Fairy Dragon was forbidden because, I mean, the only thing that points to it is ABC. Being able to cycle into your Union Hanger relatively fast, which would give you ABC parts on your field too, for future link plays. The last hit and the final blow to ABC was the limitation of Brilliant Fusion, which means Brilliant ABC isn't even in the cards. As you guys can see, there are multiple outlets for ABC, and they were all hit by the Forbidden List either directly or indirectly, which kind of crippled the strategy and bring it to the halt now. I don't think that ABC can compete with some of the top dogs, but let's just go over the matchups just so you guys can be pretty clear on how ABC is inferior or superior in certain situations. Against some of the top decks in the format, ABC just flat out struggles, ladies and gentlemen. Against Sky Striker, that is just a lot of back row to deal with. You never want to summon a part and then go into summon another part and then your opponent activates there can be only one. Mainly because that just completely locks you out of playing ABC, seeing that it's pretty much an entire machine deck. Against Thunder Dragon, that's literally like a walking nightmare. Your best cards are Union Hanger and Bee-Buster Drake, and they're heavily reliant on searching cards from your deck to your hand. One Thunder Dragon Colossus isn't gonna ruin you. Who am I kidding? That card just ruins you. There's literally nothing you can do to it. Like, seriously, if they play two, you might as well just scoop the game up. Against Solomon Great, the matchup isn't as bad, but it's not necessarily an advantage. Yes, they still do have that critical Solomon Great Roar to be able to negate your Union Hanger when you want to activate it the most, and Solomon Great Rage can destroy your ABC parts when you don't want them destroyed. Trust me, there are times you do not want them destroyed. Orcust is a deck that isn't necessarily a bad disadvantage, but the fact that ABC is inherently a go second deck because all of its going first options are on the Forbidden List in some way, shape, or form, Orcust is not the most desirable matchup. Now, there are cards that we do play inside of the deck to help us combat against all of these decks, but the fact of the matter is ABC does not have any clear-cut advantages against these strategies. So if you guys see them in abundance in your local level area, I'd probably suggest playing a different deck. But that's not to discourage you from playing ABC. Let's actually start talking about the cards that we play and why we play them. Our basic lineup is 3 copies of every Union monster that is good. That includes heavy mech support armor as well. I'll be able to talk about heavy mech support armor in a second, but talking about why we should run 3 of every Union monster. First, Pot of Desires is a god card in this deck. It's just 2 free cards. And then secondly, of course I would want every Union monster at the max. People do play lower mounts of A and C. I think that is incorrect. In a link format where you can gain those effects to continuously special summon monsters or recur monsters, it just doesn't make sense to play lower copies. Heavy mech support armor is maxed out in this particular deck because of the next card we are going to talk about, but support armor is probably the best thing since sliced bread for this deck. If you can get your combos going with this card, it's really hard to be stopped. That allows you to pop off with an exorbitant amount of plays. And if you guys want to see the live duel with ABC, then go ahead and check that out right there. That'll take you right to it. It'll explain why this card is just stupid good. Heavy mech support armor not only gives you an ABC part to your side of the field for future linking, which means you can gain its effect, it also has a very interesting effect itself. It can equip itself to a monster and make that monster untargetable. So in a specific situation where you have to deal with your opponent targeting your cards, and you don't want them targeting your cards, you can always use that heavy mech. Now, the new card I would wish to talk to you guys about is Gizmek Yada, the Gleaming Vanguard. This card is nasty good. It is a level 5 light machine. It is like the best thing that has happened to the ABC strategy. The thought process behind this card is if you have a Bee-Buster Drake and a heavy mech support armor, as well as this Gizmek card, you can normal summon the Bee-Buster Drake, tribute it for your Gizmek, get a free search of course, for your Gleaming Vanguard. Vanguard effect would summon the heavy mech support armor would summon the Bee-Buster Drake back to your side of the field, and ta-da, you have a free ABC Dragon Buster to your side of the field, as well as 2 pretty nice links to play with. The only bad part about this Gleaming Mech is that you are restricted to only special summoning machine monsters for the rest of the turn, seeing that's the more monster you summon. So it's not, it's a fairly balanced card. So this card is a fairly balanced card. If it did not have that restriction, I would probably say that it is stupid busted, but yeah, it is what it is, and we still have ways around that too. Nibiru is very, very good in this deck. Allow me to give you guys a scenario. Your opponent is on their 5th summon and you have an ABC Dragon Buster on your side of the field. What you do is you activate the effect of Nibiru, then chain the effect of ABC Dragon Buster, discarding the Nibiru. From there, you activate ABC Dragon Buster's second effect, tributing it to special summon all 3 parts to your side of the field. Now, Resolve chains backwards. What I've learned from Nibiru is in the Orcust matchup, players would always do that with Orcust Nightmare to prevent them from summoning the Nibiru, which means you tribute everything and then nothing else happens. In this particular situation, you tribute all 3 of your ABC parts and all monsters on the side of the field, and now you can resolve the effects of all of your ABC parts. Your opponent does not get a token with Nibiru, and you get to keep your advantage. That's why Nibiru is in the main deck, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to the spells, I wanted to play Union Hanger and get to it as fast as possible, and there was a point in time where I was playing set rotation in a pseudo space, but that's just trash. I mean, of course we want to get into this card desperately as fast as possible, but I'm not going to run trash in order to get to it. We're going to supplement that with pretty much some really standard cards for our spell and trap cards. A card that I do want to highlight is Forbidden Chalice. Go ahead and drool over those ultimate rare Forbidden Chalices that I do have. Forbidden Chalice is a god card. It is amazing going second, and it's great going first. It is amazing going second because you can stop your opponent's card effects like their Dingirsu when it summons itself from the graveyard, or you can stop cards like Abyss Dweller that want to ruin your day, and you can also still use it defensively when you set it on your side of the field for your opponent's turn. I wanted to have some good cards going first and going second, and Forbidden Chalice is probably going to be a staple 3-of throughout the entire format for me until the format changes. Like, there's no reason not to play it right now. Now, a really interesting card that you guys may have noticed as well is Transmodify. Transmodify is, whoa, in here. You remember when I said Gizmek Yada is a light machine type monster? Well, in this particular situation, you can use Transmodify on your B-Buster Drake, really any of your ABC parts, to turn it into a Gizmek Yada, get a free search, recursion, or special summon, and then gain an additional normal summon and go from there. You can also use Transmodify on your Heavy Mech Support Armor to turn it into the appropriate ABC monster that you need for further link play. Transmodify is just a godsend in this deck. We also play Twin Twisters in the main because, you know, I mean, you gotta have to when you play against back row decks. Moving on to the trap cards, it's pretty self-explanatory. I shouldn't have to explain myself more from there, but I wanted cards to allow me to go first and go second. Infinite Impermanence is probably the best hand trap in the game because it's actually a hand trap and it's not trash. I mean, DD Crow is amazing, but this card just has applications across the entire board and it allows you to play going second or going first. Evenly Matched is just strictly a going second card. And as of right now, it feels like Evenly Matched needs to be played in the main board for ABC when you are forced to go second. Of course, a lot of times you can actually pick going second and be perfectly fine in this particular deck because we have 9 ways, or actually 11 ways, to interrupt their opponent in all of their combos. Moving on towards the extra deck, I think it's pretty generic. I do play Cyber Dragon in the main board, which if you guys have seen everything explained about Cyber Dragon in the deck profile, it's just amazing against all of the matchups. I probably would consider playing another copy, but pretty much the extra deck is there. Now, I mean, I could talk about some of the choices that I don't play, such as Cyber Dragon Infinity. The card, you can make it in this deck, especially since there's a lot of times you can put 2 Gizmek Yadas on your side of the field or a Cyber Dragon and a Yada, but it's 2 slots that I just didn't feel was necessary. It's for links. The side deck is very, very standard. If I am playing against a deck that wants me to go first, I think that's where those artifacts really do come in. I really like the artifacts not only in the Cyber Dragon deck, but also in this particular deck because you can just set up so well after artifact scything your opponent. Imagine having an ABC Dragon Buster on your side of the field and then artifact scything them. You're going to win the next turn because your Dragon Buster turns into 3 different parts, and now you can link into whatever you want. Well, that's pretty much it for the entire deck and a breakdown of said deck. Now I get to show you guys some of these combos. The first combo for ABC is just a standard Union Hanger plus gadget combo. It gets you into a relatively solid board if you're going first. And ultimately, anytime you can end up with that Buster Dragon to your side of the field and potentially a Link monster in your extra monster zone, you are going to win the game. If your opponent can't respond to that, you're just going to summon your ABC parts to your side of the field the next turn and then make whatever Link that you wish and then scrape your opponent. The next combo I want to show you guys is with the new Gizmek Yada Gleaming Vanguard. Now this does require a little bit of a setup, but you can put a pretty big combo on the board and it's just crazy good. It allows you to basically get the exact same results, which means you have a little bit more of consistency with this particular deck instead of just running a whole bunch of gadget cards and then hoping to get it. That Gizmek Gleaming Vanguard just has so many opportunities to pop off with plays. Transmodify pretty much does the same thing, and cards like Galaxy Soldier just aren't necessary because, again, I didn't think that playing Cyber Dragon Infinity was important. The last thing is just another brief illustration on how ABC Dragon Buster works with Nibiru. It is really good. I mean, I can't really say much else after that. On your opponent's 5th summon, you activate that Nibiru, chain that Dragon Buster, and get that win because you are too strong. I think that there's not really much that can contend with that particular combo. It's almost a W on your side of the field. Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed an in-depth analysis on ABC. I hope that this video isn't too long, but if you guys have any comments, suggestions to make these videos better, go ahead and comment them down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a like, and if you really did, consider joining your boys' Patreon. We need Patreons. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys having a great day like I am.